Okay, so I'm sorry in advance for how the lighting is on this video. I can't seem to get good lighting whenever I want to do a video for you guys, so we're just going to go with it. So today we're going to make a new style flower that I'm going to be designing on its own, and we'll go with our new unicorn set. And it's this little guy right here, and he is our Dahlia flower, or she, whatever you think. And this is an 8-inch version. This is the smallest flower we've done, and it's so cute for layering or for doing like a smaller setup or to kind of fill in space. So let's go ahead and make it. For the sake of time, I've already pre-cut our petals out, and here's our little template cutter. So my templates were made of super high quality and thick chipboard, so you can use these over and over to trace. And as you can see, I cut out as best I can. You can see a little bit of ink on here, and that's okay, because if there's ever something like that, you just flip it over and use the other side. You curl the edges so you'll never see that ink. Do not even stress over that. It does not have to be perfect, I promise you. And when I do these, I do cut probably 6 papers at a time, and this is using 67-pound cardstock. And I think I only had to use a few sheets for all of this because these are so small. You can put so many on one page. And this 8-inch flower only uses 3 petals, or 3 layers of petals, I should say. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I take my first batch, and I just did this for some reason already, so I'll just show you guys though. Is you kind of put them in a stack and you go ahead and cut like a 1-inch slit, or I guess that's maybe more like 1/2 inch since these are smaller, just like that. And so now we're gonna just take the edges and roll them. This flower outside has 7 petals, so we're gonna take 3. I cut a bunch of these because I'm gonna be making a lot of them. So don't worry if there's extra, you can do that too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and roll, take my glue stick and roll to kind of help with that little shape, like that, because we're going for this outside wavy shape. And what's nice about these flowers is you can really do it however you want. You can do a different flower with an inside shape, or you can do half inside and then go outside when you get towards the middle, or however you want to do it. So let's go ahead and glue our outside pieces. So I take a itty bitty drop and just kind of barely lay it over it. Just kind of gives that flower some height when you're going to put it down, because you kind of want them to have some dimension. So they're not just like a flat, they don't look like a flat printout. They look, you know, more lively and fun. And feel free, if you want to like do this along with me, just to keep pausing it and going and doing your thing so that you can kind of follow along. But I promise there's almost no wrong way to do this. If you add less petals, add more petals, glue it more, glue it less, roll it in, roll it out. They're gonna turn out awesome. For your circle, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. It's just a base point to put our petals around, so don't worry about how the base looks either. So we're just gonna kind of start. We don't wanna go too far out. We wanna at least get the petal on here. Sorry about that. I gotta refill my glue stick here. Okay, we're gonna make our way around the flower. We wanna just slightly overlap it so that they're kind of touching, but we don't want like a big gap like that, and we don't want them so tight together, because we'd be here all day and we'd have a million petals and it would be just like super thick and not very flowy. And it might take a while to kind of gauge where your petals are going to go. And if you realize that maybe you ran out of room or you didn't have enough room when you get to the last petal, you can leave it out if you ran out of room and they're spaced pretty well. Or you can always pull them up and just retape them, because this whole inside part you're never going to see. So if it rips and you got to re-glue it, you're not going to notice that down the road. So don't even worry about it. So your second layer has 6. That's this guy. I'm going to roll him in sections of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll, roll, roll. See, that has like a little bit of ink from my pen when I did the tracing. So I'm just going to flip it over. You'll never know the difference. All right, there we go. Go, oh, my glue stick. The brand of paper that I'm using is called Neenah, N-E-E-N-A-H. It works pretty well. I think it's 67-pound cover stock. Cover stock is the same as cardstock. It just means that it's thicker. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the last one, 6. So we're gonna make our way around here. We're gonna come in just a little bit more inside. You can see how we're getting a little bit more into the flower. And you kind of want to just cut in between the edges of our last area. There we are. Okay, almost done. On to our last set. This center also has 6. There's my ink. I'm going to flip that guy over. 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to do your center slits. Sorry guys, I did these early on these for some reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll, roll, roll. Here we go. Petals are so small. I have not done a lot of itty bitty flowers because I like the humongous flowers, but this will be really nice to fill up the space, I think. Whenever I squish these, I always get like a ton of extra glue sticks stuck on my fingers. It just kind of rubs off. I swear I don't have fingertips anymore because of how many glue gun burns I have, but that's okay. In another life, I used to make wedding wands, and that was fun. Okay, there's one. You can see it. I don't know what that is. I got a little mark, but I'm going to cover it up with this petal, and we're going to be just fine. Nobody's going to see it. There we go. It's all gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four, 5, 6. There we go. Okay. Now for our last step, we're going to make the palm center like this. So this is just one sheet of paper. I folded it 2 times long ways, and then I just cut. So this can make 4 strips like this to be able to make your palm center. Then you take this piece and fold it again. And then you're going to cut little slits along the way. If you're kind of impatient like me, I fold this in half again. and I keep cutting because for the sake of time, and I make so many of these a day, I just want to do it. But if you are like, you know, if this is your first one, I suggest maybe doing it on its own. Just be so careful not to cut all the way through, because then you'll have to start over because you're going to lose half of your pom-pom. So you kind of want to go close enough, but not all the way, obviously, because then you'll just cut it right off. And your lines don't have to be perfect. As you can see, mine are not all the same. They're not all the same length in between, and they're not all the same length of cut. And that's fine, because I promise you will never notice it. So when I get towards the end, I'm going to open it back up. And I'm going to do this little metal part by hand, since we're getting a little tight there. All right, that'll do it. And we're going to start at one side, and we're just going to gradually roll it in as tight as you can. Then I start holding it at the top and bottom so it doesn't slide out. All right, we're going to go ahead and glue it. Glue the edge. Now we're going to take it, and I hold it like this with one hand, and then the other hand I just kind of fluff them out. Just make sure you hold it together, because you don't want it to all kind of spiral out. And just enough to give it a little bit of body so it kind of fills the space. Then we're going to put glue along the whole entire inside. I really kind of do a lot because I don't want it to unravel. Then it goes right in the center. I kind of push it down. And there we are. How pretty, right? All done. See, they look just alike. And then you can make a bunch of these, do a collage. You can put them, a couple of them, and do them around maybe letters and baby's name, or do a whole wall for a backdrop, or however you like. This one, for instance, I'm going to use as kind of a little unicorn design. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching.